This is not a tier list. It is also strictly my opinion, and it's important to remember that my opinion is correct. That being said, Deadlock hasn't felt the same. The game used to feel way more balanced and playable with all the heroes, and now it feels like if the enemy team has certain heroes, you just should expect to lose. I think the game is in the most wacky state it's ever been, where shenanigans and goofy nonsense are rewarded more than actually trying to play the game the right way. Right now, the most viable way to play Lash is to fly around and never touch the floor. Just aim near hit scan weapon at everybody and watch them disappear. Victor mains aren't even fighting anymore, they're just walking past objectives and dying on shrines. Some heroes don't even work while others just do everything. There's a lot to talk about. I'm going to quickly explain that this is not a tier list. This is not in any order, but it's a list of what I think is and isn't balanced right now and what should be buffed, nerfed, reworked, or generally what they should try to aim for to put the game back in a normal state. Hey, I'm like editing this at 4 AM, so if you could please drop the sub.
No.
To briefly explain my categories, never let heroes be this strong just simply means they're way too overpowered and they're power spiking out at levels that shouldn't exist. Overall designed horribly /OP is for characters who literally just need full kit reworks, because I don't know how you're ever going to balance this. Too strong stands for characters that are pretty strong right now, but I think can just generally be balanced by tweaking the numbers. Balanced, everyone should be at this level. This is where I think heroes should be balanced. Like, these are the honest, ethical heroes to play right now. Maybe they have some things in their kit that could be tweaked a little bit, but they're not characters that you see and they ruin the game instantly for you. Needs buffs? I mean, I don't need to explain that. Literally unusable is for heroes that just don't feel like they can function in any sort of capacity this meta. I feel like Abrams is one of the very balanced heroes in this game right now. There was a point in time where he would just build all weapon damage by Echo Shard and literally two-shot you with a punch combo you couldn't possibly escape because he had Phantom Strike, but he doesn't do that anymore because he shifted his spirit. I think this is one of the heroes that Valve should look at and go, alright, we need to balance everybody to be as strong as this, and not too much stronger, not too much weaker. If I did have to change anything about him, I guess you could buff him slightly, but I don't know what you would do. Apollo, too much health, too much movement, too much regen, too much damage. I think this hero could be very balanced though if we just tone down his general damage and let him be a poke hero who just annoys you and doesn't die and flies around. Even if Apollo doesn't do as much damage as he does now, he's still gonna have impact because he won't die, he's gonna be annoying, he's gonna poke your HP out, and during a team fight, he's still gonna have a kill confirm ult that can go ahead and finish off the kills on players who get low. If you want to make this character more healthy, lower his HP, lower down his damage, and lean his playstyle more into his ult. Bebop is another hero I feel like actually is at a very balanced state right now. Something I would say you should try to balance around. Hey, so it's now 5 AM gooms. I need to correct myself. Bebop is actually overpowered. This character has too much health and too much regen for the kind of playstyle he has. This is the first character I'm going to say is literally unusable right now. Billy has slowly gotten worse and worse and worse ever since the new God of Blood update. In theory, Billy can out-heal every frontline in the game because all you have to do is melee, and you just have to land 700 of them without getting parried. But Billy has zero real value as a tank unless you're an organized play because all the other tanks do it better. First off, you're always at risk of getting parried. Second, your ult is your only useful cooldown, and right now, if you want to play any frontline, you could just play Silver, Mo and Krill, Victor, and you're gonna have a way easier time doing anything and having any impact. All those characters do like quadruple his damage anyway. Billy needs so many buffs, it's insane right now. I don't know how people don't know how bad this hero is. Billy's got no damage, no tank value, and essentially nothing besides an ult that breaks over a gust of wind. Meanwhile, Yamato grapple literally reaches through different stories of buildings. I remember Calico being hard meta like it was yesterday. It was right after the big hero rework update, and Calico was literally doing everything. No matter where you went, she was there because she was just straight up the entire map, and I think we should never let her be that strong again. That being said, we should buff her. Calico is an assassin, but her kit plays like a brawler, and I think it's kind of like anti-intuitive. Calico feels like she never runs out of cooldowns, and as a result of that, the only way to keep her like balanced is to make her damage not all that great. I think we need to go ahead and rework that and put her in a state where she does like a huge burst of damage and then has to use the cat to get out. Something like that, or use the cat to get in and get that burst of damage. Maybe instead of making her ult refund all cooldowns, it should just do like 50%. But just give her the damage to do the burst combo that she needs and then needs to leave. Not just to fight forever and do no damage the whole time. What I'm getting at is I don't think Calico's a healthy assassin design where you have somebody who just never stops fighting, because an assassin isn't supposed to be someone that stops fighting. They're supposed to be somebody that comes in quick, gets the kill, and gets out. Celeste is everything I think they've ever designed wrong in Deadlock, all just put into one hero. Whatever crack they were smoking when they made this hero, I want some. Celeste, I think, has a pretty cool character design, very cool kit, but it's never going to work in a way that I think is balanced. Now, the reason why I think that is because Celeste has that one ability, and that's the only time she has to actually put herself at risk of anything. Otherwise, she can kind of just zone you out, keep flying, and keep hitting you with these little things that she drops from the sky. But to counteract the only time she has to put herself at risk, we gave her a barrier, and if that wasn't enough, the barrier silences you for breaking it. So am I supposed to just sit there and get beat up until it goes off cooldown? If they go ahead and break your barrier, you're not allowed to use your keyboard for like a whole 2 seconds. And what's crazy is this isn't even like a tier 3 upgrade. You get this off rip. It's like how Mina has to actually put herself at risk to get a rake off a lot of the times, and that's when she could possibly die. Instead, Valve just decided to go, actually no, Mina's just going to get this random rake, and it's going to silence everybody who decides to shoot at her. Doorman, in my unpopular opinion, I really do like how he's actually working right now. I don't know if he's really balanced, not gonna lie. But I think Doorman's always just been a pick hero, and because it was difficult to play pick on him, people just assumed he was like a support back in the day. But now that people realize that you can kidnap people and send them to wherever you want, they're noticing that he's really the most powerful pick hero. On top of that, Doorman still has the damage to just go ahead and kill people in like a fight if he's playing well. Just off the fact of the data and what's happening with this guy in the meta lately, I'm gonna have to say he's definitely too strong. If I were to nerf him or anything, I think I would just lower the door range and make people have to play more creatively with their kidnaps, rather than just send them under the walker and watch them lose to the environment of the game. Drifter's fine, just change his assist to give slightly less stacks again. Last patch, there was no hero who could carry a whole game while doing less than 25k damage in 50 minutes, besides Dynamo. Dynamo win rates were through the roof. This man was a terrorist. Each stomp did a minimum of 1.2k damage, but now it feels like he's fine where he's at, if I'm being honest. Maybe he's got a little bit too much health, but I don't think he's that bad anymore. Now, if you know me already, then you know that I'm quite familiar with this character, Graves. And the only real answer to get this character balanced is if Yoshi stops listening to people crying about auto-aim because they haven't learned how to play against the character and actually balance her to be a playable hero. She would be perfectly fine if we stopped trying to lean her into the gun, which we all know this hero isn't intended to do because she's got 17-meter range, and it's not fun to play with the gun either, and decided to actually let her do the spirit damage that a summoner should be able to do. Graves hasn't been playable for a while. This character keeps going back to bottom 1 every time they get a buff because people are just getting skill checked by her. Noobs are always going to get stomped by a character like Graves, but Eternus players are getting skill checked by her. There's so much counterplay built into this kit. I think this is probably the best designed kit in all of Deadlock, hands down, because you don't need to buy 3,6,400 items to go ahead and stop her. That being said, even with all the built-in counterplay that this character actually has, which everybody else feels like they're missing, please fix the one. If anybody goes around the corner, this thing won't track. It hits like maybe 1 out of every 10 throws you use. The one is terrible. Heiss is perfectly fine right now. I think everybody should be balanced around this level. It's another Abrams-ish Drifter situation. Oh, my beloved Holiday. How they've wronged you for so much. Okay, don't worry. I've thought about this one for eons and centuries to come. Alright, first off, we're gonna buff her barrels. I know that sounds scary, because everybody hated when Holiday was doing all the barrel damage in the world, and yes, I agree this hero should have a fall-off point, but it shouldn't be as bad as it is now. Okay, listen. So Holiday T3 upgrade now is going to make the barrels have 1 bounce, kind of like a Viscus ball, but hold on, it does not hurt when it does the bounce. What the bounce does is it gives it a boost in damage after the first bounce, kind of like how Celeste, like the Celeste M1 does that, or whatever it does. Yeah, think about it like that. So the way that this is going to work is it's still going to proc near enemy players and just explode. So even if you get this upgrade, you can still shoot it directly at them, but you now have this trick shot aspect where if you have the skill to go ahead and bounce it before and then hit them, it's going to give you an extra damage bonus. So you can do these really cool things like bouncing it off the ground at somebody, or you could bounce it behind a wall at somebody and hit them from behind or something sick like that. You could like angle it off a wall to get that first bounce and it'll just fly over and hit them. And I think that would be a really, really healthy change for skill expression on the hero, since this character already has so much of that, and it would actually balance the damage out because you can go ahead and get more damage through more skill. Crack shot is really underpowered. Yes, you get one like 300 damage shot, but I think instead we higher up the cooldown and we make it percent chunk health on that headshot. This would essentially turn into like a tank buster ability while kind of making it like a kill confirm for squishy heroes. The percent wouldn't be too high. It would be probably something like 3%, just something light to make this ability feel like it has a bit more impact. Depending on how high the cooldown gets, just higher up the percent. Very last, please just give a very, very slight duration buff to the ult. Dash Furnace is lame. I'm glad that they nerfed it, but I think this character is now very balanced. I think this character is working. This character is a little bit annoying because nobody likes Afterburn, but I don't think Infernace is busted, and I don't think he's weak. If I were to change Ivy at all, I would try to lean her into the support style more. I think that's what's cool about her. The ult is a silence and she can heal everybody. It's like she can really come in and disrupt a team fight. But I think her gun is slightly overtuned right now. I know that might be a hot take or whatever, but I think Ivy is generally pretty balanced. Nobody likes playing the game in minus 50% speed. I feel like this character is always going to be OP just because Life Swap is an insane ability, but I feel like this character is so close to being balanced. If we could lower the range on Life Drain, I think Heiss is going to be perfectly fine. Lash is a very interesting case right now. On one hand, I actually kind of like Gun Lash because Lash has only had one viable playstyle, and that's just Spirit Nuke and then get countered when people buy Spellbreaker. But if they want to move him more in the direction of a hybrid hero, kind of like how they did with Pocket, I think that would be a really good change for the character, but they need to tone down this gun. Just take the ult off her and she'll be balanced again. Mina is one of the most problematic heroes in Deadlock. I don't think she's ever going to be balanced. That being said, we need to change Mina's ult from a full silence to just a movement ability silence. So that way when people get caught in it, like you catch a movement hero with it, you have to calm your team to come kill them in that time. Not just, I hit you with this, you can't play the game, now you're gonna die, cry about it. Also, lower the range on Rake. That thing is way too forgiving. People literally just be hitting you out the sky with it. Low-key, I think this character is still overpowered. I just haven't seen enough people playing Mirage to know for sure. Scarabs are ridiculous. Let's tone down the healing on that. Ban Ricochet from proccing Jin's Mark, please. Mo and Krill are the most balanced they've ever been. Don't change them. Paige is always going to be annoying just because her playstyle is heal everybody and then run away, and she spends 500 years trying to escape. But this character is pretty balanced. I think the damage she gets is reasonable for her capabilities. I don't think you have to change this character. I've seen people say Paradox is kind of weak and needs buffs, but like, I don't understand that in the slightest. Paradox is one of the best ults for mid right now. Paradox ult in general is just cracked. Paradox wall is very good. Her bomb damage scales super well into the late game. I don't know. I think this character is fine. I don't think she's egregiously overpowered either, but I don't think she needs buffs. I genuinely think Pocket might be the most balanced character in the game right now. Has a ton of teamfight impact, has a reasonable time to fall off, still even after falling off can be extremely useful. This character, if you were not to touch them for like the next 10 patches or so, I feel like they would be fine, and I feel like everybody should try to be on this level. I've seen people say Rem is weak, but I don't know how. I think Rem is fine. I don't think Rem needs to be buffed. Rem has minions that do everything for him. The ult goes through every wall in the game and movement silences you, which I still think is a little ridiculous actually. But I think Rem in general is okay. Maybe if you want to buff Rem, give him like more frequent pillow charges so he can actually fight back, but that's about it. 7 is the most ethical carry in all of Deadlock, and I don't care what anyone says. After 30 minutes, he comes online, and he's going to be able to do literally everything, but it's not like he's an unstoppable hero. This character can be countered and beaten even after he reaches his carry threshold. I think 7 has just enough mid-game damage to be useful without having to be fully babysat as a carry, and I also think that his late-game damage is very strong, very powerful, and it's how a carry should work. Everybody get ready to guess the Deadlock hero, because this character is a tank, this character is a tank buster, this character is a DPS, this character is a carry, this character is a brawler, this character is a debuff hero, this character is a poke hero, and even if that wasn't enough, this character is a movement hero. Who do you think I'm talking about? That's right, it's Shiv! Shiv's kit is designed in a really weird way, and I don't think he's ever going to be balanced unless we just take some of the actual like stats and just lower them down into the ground. For example, Shiv should not have all this movement with all this health. It's ridiculous. Shiv knife shouldn't be the main source of damage. This should be the main way of building a bleed so that way the dash gets stronger. People don't even use % execute anymore to actually kill people. They just run away with it. I used to think Shiv was such a cool hero because he would like shotgun movement in his way in, bounce off a wall, double dash at somebody, execute them and get out. But now he's literally just unkillable and can do literally everything in the game for no reason. And then on top of that, when you are going to kill him, he's just going to leave and he's going to be faster than almost every hero in the game. What we need to do is we need to make Shiv squishy. We need to make the knives not his main source of damage, but just the method of building up rage. And we need to make Shiv have to actually go in and work for the kills again. Shiv can be a brawler if he's getting his regen and his defers, but I don't think he should be a brawler from just existing. If you do want to lead more into the tank identity, then you're going to have to cut down this movement because it's just too much. Am I the only one that thinks this character should be like a carry and not like a roaming hero? Yeah, I know her kit is horrible for farming, and maybe we could just do something to change that, but her whole identity is just turning into a wolf and going 1v3 in a fight and clutching everything up. That literally sounds exactly like a carry ability. As it is now, early game she does too much damage, late game she does too much damage, and throughout the entire game she just has too much health. Silver feels very unfightable half the time you're playing against her. If you play any other roaming hero, you would know that it feels absolutely impossible to do anything against a Silver who's also just roaming trying to find picks. Give her some sort of potential farm. Please tone down this shotgun damage early game. She literally like one clips you in lane phase. And make her lean more into a carry style. I think it just makes more sense for what her kit actually does. Sinclair's ult is a huge problem. I don't know why this guy can use my ult 3 times before I can use my own ult twice. We desperately need to lower that cooldown. Second, Vexing Bolt does all the damage in the world. People act like it's hard to use. That thing's practically auto-tracking. That might just be the highest damage cooldown in the game once you build into it. Special Assistant needs a range limit. I don't know why Sinclair can teleport across the map with it. I know the meta shifted and some people think Ventor is not that strong right now, but I think Ventor still is very strong right now. It's just like a more skilled Warden. Ventor's got 50% built-in anti-heal, burn damage, 3 CCs, is tanky, some of the highest gun damage in the game, and did I mention that he has 3 kill confirms in 1 move? Now watch the meta shift and Ventor is going to go straight back to being S tier and we're all going to realize that he was still broken anyway. If I were to change anything about this hero, I would reduce how frequent some of the CC is. I would honestly buff the ult and lean his identity more into that, but turn down some of the damage on combustion. Vindictive is really only overpowered if somebody feeds her in lane phase. If she's not fed in lane phase, then she's perfectly fine. This is secretly one of the most busted characters in the game and nobody is talking about it. Viscus Splatter does like 1.5k damage late game and I think that really needs to be toned down. But anybody who knows how strong Viscus ult actually is when somebody's good at it, they'll know that that ability is one of the best things in the game. It's CC, it's high damage, and anybody who could bounce on it Creasy style like Goober is really gonna put in insane pain with that ability. I had a Viscus in my game do over 80k damage out of 126k damage with just the ball alone, and we literally just couldn't win the game because even if we were gonna kill him, he just left. Tone down Splatter. I don't really know how to balance this hero in my opinion. I think you just have to let people get good at him and then you have to see what you can do after that. For a very long time, this was the least playable hero in the game, but now I think Viper's fine. I don't think you really gotta change anything. I think Viper's good late game. I think Viper's good early game. I think Viper's okay. I remember the big Wraith rework like it was yesterday. She was easily the best hero in the game and she deleted everything. That might have been one of the worst times to ever play Deadlock, but I think she's fine now. If I were going to say anything, please reduce the chance of her getting these heart cards because she's clutching up too many fights by just pure luck. It's annoying. Yamato is the most brawler character in all of Deadlock. No one can brawl quite like this hero, except for maybe Apollo. Yamato's whole kit works on absolute nonsense and physics that don't work. Grapple is an auto-track ability that has infinite range, and when she lands it on somebody, all physics get turned off and she just phases through every part of the map and then insta-kills you. We need to turn this into a kill shot, and we need to make this actually break around corners. Yamato's ult, I think, needs to just be taken out of the game and restarted and recreated from the ground up. This character shouldn't have an ult that just gives her a second life and then makes her even stronger in that state.